show do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Radio Dihadis. The content broadcast on this show is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only.
After months of screen time and no play dates, the Children's Discovery Museum is open for Purple Play Days of Summer. It's time to rediscover the wonder. Climb on the fire engine, splash around in the waterworks, blow bubbles, and scale the tree climber in Bill's backyard. Oodles of hands-on arts and culture, STEM, health, and nature-themed exhibits await your family. The Giant Purple Museum is open every day, Wednesday through Sunday. Reservations are required at cdm.org. That's cdm.org. जब हमारे परिवार के बुजुर्गों की सेहत और देखभाल की बात होती है तो घर पर इन होम केयर वाला ऑप्शन सबसे बढ़िया है। ऑनलॉक का पेस प्रोग्राम एक ऐसा कन्वीनियंट एंड पर्सनलाइज्ड ऑप्शन है जिसके जरिए हमारे बुजुर्ग घर पर हमारे साथ रहकर यही देखभाल और सेवा का लाभ उठा सकते हैं। अब चाहे वो घर पर रहे या ऑनलॉक वाले पेस सेंटर में आए, उनको वही डेडिकेटेड एंड प्रोफेशनल केयर मिलेगी। ऑनलॉक ने बुजुर्गों की सेहत को अपना प्रायोरिटी बना लिया है। और जानने के लिए 1855-308-0195 पे कॉल करें। That's 1855-308-0195.
Top of the morning, Bay, with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोग हमारे तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार,
वनकम,
नमस्कार,
खुशामदीद,
सलाम अलैकुम,
सत श्री अकाल,
మీకు అందరికీ వందనము,
जय स्वामीनारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण,
जय जिनेंद्र।
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बहनों को बोल दे याली मदद,
मोलाली मदद बोलते सारे फीजे मन लोग बोले कि ईसा बोला बरजान, हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे। मैं सिर्फ फालतू बाबा
and of course myself Faltu Rani लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time show that's going to make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बंदू जाने।
That's right बरजान। of course आपको बोलना कि आज है तारीख September 21st बरजान। You know Faltu, it only happens once a time in the year.
9/21?
No.
Then?
21 once in.
Ooh,
yeah.
once in.
You remember those times? Those kind of memes that come up like, happens once in like 100 years.
Yeah.
They'll stop nowadays, huh? People realize that they are good at math.
God, oh Lord.
What do you mean, oh Lord? Hello? Okay, Baljan, right now, quick look at what's happening in the traffic for you guys. I know you guys are wondering, oh my God, traffic ka kya haal hai, Faltu Baba? You want to know? Raste ka haal, dono saste mein.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
Alright, Baljan, the roads are looking nice. Unlike yesterday, Baljan, today is actually smooth. No incidents report to you guys on 101 off for the matter. 880. 880 also is pretty much open. Save then your diary to the regular delay hota exit ke paas, Baljan. But going up a little bit further, 238 and 580 intersection, Baljan, there's actually a traffic accident over there near Castro Valley. We just learned on traffic. I see a backlog almost like around 3-4 exits. Oh, watch out for that. And since we're on 580, we can just go further on 580 and Palo Verde Road. There also is one more traffic hazard reported there. The lane is blocked in that region. The right lane is blocked in the region, so watch out for that. And of course, there's traffic accident on 580 eastbound, west of the Foothill Road in Dublin, which is the right lane over there is affected as well. Right now, Faltuni is suddenly having a doubt. What happened to you, Faltuni? Why you have that doubt on your face?
No doubt on my face.
Do you want to know what the weather looks today?
Yeah.
It's nice and sunny. How does it look, Faltoni? We are on air right now, burning up all the airways for you guys. And of course, if you want to actually get more information of what we share with you guys on air, you can go to our news blog, mediamahima.com, and get the information of that, Baljan. Right now, Faltoni, do you have the headlines for our bandus today? Or do you have the news for our bandus? How about that?
Yes, absolutely, Bandujan. In news from across the United States, that is exclusively, well, this portion of the news at least, airs exclusively on Radio Dihadi's app on Good Morning Bay right here. It's a presentation of Media Mahima. The White House says it's seeking more information about the video that appears to show mounted U.S. Border Patrol agents aggressively confronting Haitian immigrants at the southern U.S. border. About 10,000 people, many of them Haitian refugees, are still crowded near the Del Rio International Bridge in Texas after the Department of Homeland Security moved some 3,000 people to other processing facilities yesterday. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said his agency is facilitating 1 to 3 deportation flights to Haiti and other locations daily. Only refugees from Haiti who arrived in the U.S. before July 29 are eligible for the temporary protected status. He said many Haitians now at the border are believed to be have been living in South America after the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, but the toll of the pandemic on the region fueled migration to the U.S. border. Pfizer and BioNTech announced that their lower dose COVID-19 vaccine was found to be safe and generated a robust antibody response in children's ages 5 to 11. We shared this bit of news with you yesterday, Banajan, but Johnson & Johnson also is saying that second shot boosts protection for moderate to severe COVID-19 to 94%. They said on Tuesday that the second shot of its COVID-19 vaccine, given about 2 months after the first, increased its effectiveness to 94% in the United States against moderate to severe forms of the disease. That compares to the 70% protection offered with the single dose. Now, this data will help J&J make its case to US regulators for a booster shot, even as the company stresses the durability of its single shot vaccine as a tool to ease the global pandemic. In a news from across the United States, Bandujan, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with something called critical race theory. This is roiling a Tennessee school district. What exactly is happening? In Tennessee, Robin Steinman is an Air Force veteran and a white mother of 3 and is fed up with the way public schools in her community of Franklin, Tennessee are teaching kids about race. She believes that the reading materials and teachers' manuals are biased, specifically the lessons taught to second graders about civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. Kids leave class believing that white people are oppressors and minorities are victims, Steinman claims. While her only school-age child attends private school, she nevertheless wants the public system, Williamson County Schools, to change its approach. She and a group of local women calling themselves as Moms for Liberty recently asked the Tennessee Department of Education in a complaint letter to force the district to scrap material about critical race theory and overhaul its curriculum. Their protests have made Williamson County the first test of a new Tennessee law that bans the teaching of ideas linked to critical race theory, an academic framework that examines how racism has shaped American society. The clash in Franklin, a Nashville suburb of 83,000 people, is a part of a larger culture war over race and education that's roiling other U.S. communities and which has gained traction as a political force nationwide. It has split parents and educators, and Tennessee is pursuing plans to strip teaching licenses from instructors and cut state funding to schools that persistently teach taboo material. Wow. Anyway, we can get more information about this on MediaMahima.com. This is truly, this is what Trump wanted to institute also, if you remember. To abolish teaching critical race theory so that people don't understand the oppression of the blacks and all that happened during that time. Post-Trump, U.S. Democrats now are offering a bill to rein in presidential powers. U.S. House of Representatives Democrats introduced legislation on Tuesday seeking to pull back powers from the presidency, part of an effort by lawmakers to rein in the White House after what the Democrats saw as an overreach during the administration of former Republican President Donald Trump. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Representative Adam Schiff plan to introduce a bill at a news conference. They said the, quote, Protecting Our Democracy Act would, unquote, would restore the balance of power between the executive and legislative branches of government that was written into the US Constitution. Among other things, it will put new limits on the use of presidential pardons in cases involving contempt or obstruction of Congress, prohibit self-pardons by the president, and strengthen measures to prevent foreign election interference. The bill would also increase protection of whistleblowers, protect the independence of inspectors general, and strengthen congressional oversight of the use of emergency declarations. If you remember, during his presidency, Trump actually fired a series of inspector general watchdogs tasked with fighting corruption at federal agencies. He fired them. He also repeatedly declared national emergencies, including at the border with Mexico, to force the transfer of military funds to build the border wall. Campaign promised that and another over relations with Iran to sidestep congressional review of military sales to Saudi Arabia. So this bill's path forward is uncertain, but in the Senate Chuck Schumer, who is our Senate Majority Leader, he is mulling passing election reform without Republican support. U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer signaled to Republicans on Tuesday if they block an upcoming election reform bill, he will look for a path around the chamber's filibuster rule to try to pass it with only Democratic support. Schumer noted that Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, a moderate who wields great power to advance or block legislation in the narrowly divided chamber, has signed on to try and secure Republican support. So that's another thing that's going on, Bajan. And also, the U.S. House is going to be testing the Republican roadblock in Tuesday debt limit vote to fund the federal government through December 3rd and to also raise the nation's borrowing limit, according to the U.S. House Appropriations Committee.
Where are they borrowing from, by the way? I still don't understand.
I am not sure, Alto Baba.
Well, I'll tell you what they can borrow from. One person they can borrow from.
What?
Definitely Trump.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I think that, that actually is coming up, his court case is coming up, right? You know that, right? Are you aware of that?
No.
You don't need that thing? Oh my God. Business news, but big news right now, the fact that Trump's case is going to come up to the courts. You know when? How beautifully timed by, Nancy Pelosi, seriously.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when it's going to come up, rather in terms of, when it's going to be in the courts? 2022 elections. 2022 elections.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, what wonderful planning by Nancy Pelosi, really.
Well, Panchayat, I don't think he's ever going to show up at court, Alto.
No, but at least what will happen is his bid for the presidency will not be there, right?
How do you know?
He'll have an active case. Oh, hello. If you have an active case on you, you actually cannot take part you can't actually stand for elections, correct?
No, that's not true.
What?
Not if it's a civil case.
Hello, excuse me. Okay, fine. Faltrani, we'll get there anyway. I'm just happy saying that things are moving the right way.
Yeah.
2020 election is going to be a good election.
Yeah.
You're going to have good people coming in, right?
Yes. I think the Democrats should get a super majority. Anyway.
Well, you see, that's again a problem. If Democrats super majority, also be a problem. You can't have a fine balance.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about the liberals. I'm talking about conservative Democrats also.
Whoa. Again, you're putting labels right now, Faltrani.
Yeah.
But let's do something that's good for us, right? Good for everybody.
Yes.
I know it's hard, but something, bittersweet.
Let's talk about what you need to be doing if you're planning to go outdoors. Try to stay indoors, Panjan, because there is a spare the air alert that has been issued for today here in the Bay Area due to unhealthy smog. Hazy skies are in store for the Bay Area due to high temperatures, wildfire smoke, and car exhaust, prompting Air District officials to announce a spare the air alert for smog on Tuesday. The alert for smog or ozone is issued when air quality is expected to reach unhealthy levels. So please be careful when you are out there and try not to drive out. See if you can stay indoors. TikTok challenge. You remember that the devious lick challenge that I talked about?
What? Really? There's something like a lick challenge and all? Why do people actually have TikTok in the first place?
It's called devious lick, and what that is these kids are going in and they're vandalizing bathrooms in schools, pulling out soap dispensers, paper towel dispensers, and then putting graffiti on everything, pulling out see this. This is what they do.
So what were they just making like,
And they make they trash their bathrooms. So this was a challenge. It was a TikTok challenge that came into place.
But listen, they know who did it, right?
Yeah. No, I don't know if they will know.
Yeah,
because
somebody's
there are
posted a video, and obviously.
Well, sort of, I guess. Well, Bay Area schools have had to shut down entire bathrooms thanks to a TikTok. Even here, locally in the Milpitas Unified School District, they had to do that even at Milpitas High School. Thanks to a TikTok challenge, students have been taking part in, and this is at a time when kids should be washing their hands more often. They're actually breaking the sinks, and the bathrooms are being closed. The issue has grown so much that parents in multiple districts around the Bay Area have started sending news organizations emails saying that it's not good to shut down the bathrooms during the pandemic.
What's the best way to actually get a handle on this? Follow the Japanese system of education.
What is that?
Actually make the kids clean their own bathrooms.
Yes, you should make all the kids like even if somebody has vandalized it.
No, not vandalized. On a regular basis, as they have a PE, they should have a bathroom session also. Every class goes and cleans the bathroom once a day.
I agree. I think that they should do that for the whole school. They need so that there's a lesson in humility and a lesson in industry that they learn.
And also they appreciate what they have.
True. I agree.
Appreciate what they have. These kids don't understand that. And then they should make videos and put that viral. Make that viral.
Yes.
Cleaning the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And that's when automatically everything will stop, Fatwani.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why, I make sure I know. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything right now.
What?
Anyway, it's difficult to implement, right?
What is difficult to implement?
Yes, that kind of a rule for actually having the kids. Parents go, why should my child go while clean the bathrooms?
No, why?
People have the entitlement for issues, Fatwani. They don't want the kids to go clean bathrooms in the
That's
house.
not true.
Well, I don't know.
That's not true.
Well, we should have a show on that and ask people, how entitled do you feel?
Yeah. Well, a woman died and 3 other people were injured in a crash Sunday night in East San Jose, police said. The woman was driving a Toyota Corolla westbound on Yerba Buena Road near US Highway 101 when the car drifted into the eastbound lanes around 9:30 p.m., said the San Jose police. This Corolla collided head-on into a Honda Accord that was headed eastbound. A third vehicle, a Toyota 4Runner, then crashed into the Honda, police say in a news release. The driver of the Corolla was hospitalized but succumbed to her injuries. Her name has currently not yet been released. Well, good news with regard to coronavirus in California. We're leading the nation with the lowest rate of COVID-19 transmissions, rated substantial, while every other state is still in the high category. With the rate at 3% down from 7% just a week ago, the end of mask mandates could be near for some areas. Los Angeles and San Francisco already qualify by some CDC guidelines. Here in San Francisco, we're down to the lowest rates of transmission by one of their metrics. The test positivity rate must be less than 5%. We are at 2.3%, said Dr. Monica Gandhi of UCSF.
Oh my goodness, what are we at?
2.3%.
Good or bad?
That's in San Francisco. I don't know what Santa Clara County. So it's going to be up to health officials here, but yes, by CDC guidelines, they could actually lift the indoor mask mandates apparently. Well, we will. Do you have a Ganika Kira for us before we go into world news?
Well, we can just jump into right now, Fatwani, because we can go to one sequence. Bandus will love the fact that the gay news at one go.
So that is world news headlines, Panajan. U.S. President Joe Biden told the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday that he would work with Congress to double funds by 2024 to $11.4 billion per year to help developing nations deal with climate change. The funding would help achieve a global goal set more than a decade ago of $100 billion per year to support climate action in vulnerable countries. The best part is making these ambitious investments isn't just good climate policy, it's a chance for each of our countries to invest in ourselves and our own future, Biden told the annual gathering of world leaders. He also, in this particular meeting, he also went ahead and presented an America that will forsake war in favor of ceaseless diplomacy.
Woot woot! Yes. I like that. That's the way to go, man. Why war?
Yeah. In fact, recently we were talking about this, Altava. I remember about borders and, border crossings and things like that.
Yeah.
And then this is a huge conversation going on about how climate and environment has been impacted with what this border wall, the Trump border wall, came into place, right? And how, virtual walls was an option that was suggested. But then there was another issue that came up with regard to the virtual wall being an invasion of people's privacy, with all this, that there were, if there were people crossing, the facial recognition software and all that stuff, and that was another thing that came up. And then, interestingly enough, the anthropologists who were on that call actually talked about the almost the elimination of borders.
Exactly.
And not making a big deal about borders, because when animals migrate, it's natural for humans to migrate as well.
Correct.
I mean, it was very, very subtle. They didn't go into detail about that.
Finally,
but
you felt like you heard it somewhere already.
Yes, that was the Altu Gyan that Altu Baba had talked about.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's one way actually fixing that also.
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody, wherever they are, all they have to do is just pay a few dollars of whatever they make to the land they belong. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about all those borders and stuff like that, because end of the day, it's all about trying to have, like, for instance, the most recent issue actually happening here, people not able to afford houses, right? What are you going to do about that?
The SB 8, 9 and 10 that was signed by the governor is huge news, Panajan.
So now big family houses can no longer be big family houses. You can't build big family houses anymore. You only can go for multi-units.
What?
All those things. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, unless until you actually go. That depends on zoning and everything.
Wow.
So you actually can build a big family house only if you go to the mountains. Yeah, I'd love to do that. But actually I want to go to the mountains and build a small cottage.
I would like to build multiple cottages where all of our prajna and our minority individuals can stay together. Anyway, let's go on over. Let's also tell you what President Joe Biden presented before the United Nations on Tuesday. He said that we will forsake needless wars but would be strong on old and new alliances and partnerships to meet global challenges such as terrorism, climate change, and the pandemic. In the meanwhile, while we're talking about ceaseless diplomacy efforts, let's talk about a ceaseless war to an extent. The Taliban, Afghanistan's Taliban rulers now have announced several senior appointments on Tuesday, naming 2 veteran battlefield commanders from the movement's southern heartlands as deputies in important ministries. A main Taliban spokesman, Zabihullah Mujahid, said Mullah Abdul Qayyum Zakir will be Deputy Defense Minister, while Sadr Ibrahim was named Deputy Minister for the Interior. Both men had expected to take major positions in the new government, but neither was named in the main list of ministers announced this month. Business as usual for Justin Trudeau after the Canada status quo election. That's right, Pandujan. It was business as usual in Canada on Tuesday after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau fell short of winning a majority in a tightly contested parliamentary election, leaving him once again dependent on opposition legislators to govern. Provisional results showed virtually no change from the 2019 elections. Roughly 850,000 ballots are still to be counted, mail-in ballots, which could affect the final tally in some seats. And of course, the Canadian dollar was trading nearly unchanged at 1.2830 to the greenback. And news from Australia, Banajan. France should not have been surprised that Australia cancelled a submarine contract, as major concerns about delays, cost overruns and suitability had been aired officially and publicly for years, Australian politicians have said. And in news from India, Air Marshal V.R. Chaudhry is going to be the next Indian Air Force Chief. Vivek Ram Chaudhry, a fighter pilot and a top instructor with wide experience and key appointments over almost 39 years, will be the next Chief of Air Force, the government announced on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And if you would like some updates on the Raj Kundra case, after spending nearly 2 months in jail, Raj Kundra returned home on September 21st. The businessman, who is married to Bollywood actress Shilpa Shetty, had hit the headlines, if you remember, for his involvement in the alleged production and distribution of pornographic content.
हाँ, अभी तो आराज कुंद्रा जी पूर्ण रूप से आजाद है.
Porn. That's gross. Well, apparently he's lost a lot of weight while he was in jail.
I know.
He was in tears when he exited jail from Raj's arrest to his bail on a surety of 50,000 rupees. Here's some of the timeline was that he was arrested on July 19th, if you remember.
Yeah.
Now 2 months after that is when this has happened.
And everybody's trying to capitalize on how he lost weight, so everybody wants to go to jail for 30 minutes.
Hey,
30 days.
whatever, man.
I don't know. People actually do that. India is crazy. You don't know, right? They go to jail food, so they'll say, okay, let me go to jail. Let's lose some weight like Raj Kunda and come back.
Well, India,
People are willing to try anything, Fadwani, over there. People are willing to try anything.
Well, one thing that I'm very happy that they're willing to try is the empowerment of specially abled people. In India, there's been a marked rise in registered voters with disabilities, and the Election Commission has been working towards making the state polls more accessible. As many as 77.4 lakh people with disabilities, that is PWD voters, have been mapped by the Election Commission so far as part of its sustained efforts to identify such electors and offer them special facilities and assistance so as to boost their participation in elections. The updated PWD voter count marks a significant increase over 62.6 lakh PWD voters who have registered in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. Isn't that awesome that the Election Commission in India has made a vow to make elections more inclusive, accessible and voter friendly for PWDs. They said at a national conference on accessible elections organized virtually by the poll watchdog on Tuesday, Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra called for making this experience more pleasant and dignified. And in other news, Maharashtra CM Uddhav Thackeray responds to Governor Koshyari and cites crime figures of BJP-ruled states, and also responds to the governor's inquiry into the Sakinaka rape case and the installation of the Nirbhaya task force now. There's other good news coming out about specially abled people. A specially abled person's team creates a world record by reaching the Siachen Glacier. And they're called Operation Blue Freedom. Team Claw, a team of Special Forces veterans of Indian Armed Forces, created a world record by having the largest team of people with disabilities to scale the world's highest battlefield, Siachen Glacier, successfully, a defense spokesperson has said.
But even reading the news, you got to actually make sure you correct the Pegler thing. It's not disability, with different abilities. That's what it means. Because they're able to, in spite of the different abilities, they're able to scale the mountain. So, Siachen Mountains is scalable.
Yeah.
Everybody telling them, oh, I can't do it. Well, come on.
They say,
no matter what ability you can do it, is what they're trying to show.
Yes, but these are veteran war heroes, Manijan. The summit to the highest battlefield commenced on September 7th. And in 11 days, they completed their summit.
Whoa, 11 days?
Yes, they completed it on September 18th.
That's record time.
Yeah, it was led by 2 ex-officers from Special Forces. It had 2 ladies who were 100% blind, 3 upper limb amputees, 3 individuals who were 100% blind, 2 ex-parachute regiment officers, 4 ex-servicemen from Special Forces, and 3 civilians, including a doctor. That was the team that scaled it.
Very nice.
And finally, the Pakistan-based handlers of prescribed terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba have been using the pseudo-acronym TRF to take responsibility for the terror strikes in Jammu and Kashmir aimed at maintaining plausible deniability and evade law enforcement agencies. The Resistance Front, which is TRF, which is backed by Pakistani handlers, is an offshoot of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, and it has taken responsibility for the various terrorist activities happening in Jammu and Kashmir in the recent past. The Jammu and Kashmir police is even probing cases against that particular wing. Run by local Kashmiri residents having affiliation to Lashkar-e-Taiba and other terror groups, TRF is a face-saving wing of the outlawed terror organization being named in the terrorist acts. So if you want to get more information about this too, you can go to mediamahima.com. That was the news for you today. Dun, dun, dun.
Wonderful, Faltwani. I'm so happy that you gave the news for us today.
Yes.
And do you know what the gardening key does for today?
What is Daltu Baba?
Can you guess?
Altu, faltu, I blacko daltu. I don't know.
No.
What is the song, Altu Baba?
I have a beautiful song for upcoming movie जहाँ पे साले साहब और जीजा जी दोनों काम किए हैं. You want to listen to the song, Fatwani?
Yes, Altu Baba.
It's a song called Vignaharta
Really?
from Antim.
Who stars in it?
Who stars in it? Salman Khan
And
and his Jija ji. His Jiju.
who's his Jiju?
Not Varun Dhawan. The other guy, man, who's married to his younger sister's husband.
Okay.
हाँ. So a nice song, Banjan. नया song आपके लिए. Enjoy. अजय गोगावाले के आवाज से बंजान. म्यूजिक बाय हितेश मोदक. लिरिक्स बाय वैभव जोशी. From the movie Antim, the final truth.
Faltu Rani, and let me tell you, Bandajani, that all these beautiful tracks that you're listening to right now are special Dihari picks that we've hand-picked just for you. We'll see you in just a few. Keep listening.
You are listening to Paresh Rawal on a Radio Dehoti.